The Brady Bunch wasn't just a show about a blended family finding their way together. It was a cultural phenomenon that defined an era of American television. But even the most devoted fans who watched every Friday night might have overlooked some fascinating details hiding in plain sight. Today, we're counting down 25 small details you missed in the Brady Bunch. Number 25, the missing bathroom.
Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna break this door down.
Here's something that puzzled viewers for years. The Brady house had 6 kids sharing one bathroom upstairs. Yet if you look at the house layout, there's clearly space for another bathroom that we never see. The set designers created what became television's most famous shared bathroom, complete with that iconic Jack and Jill setup with doors on both sides. The boys entered from one door, the girls from another, and countless episodes revolved around the scheduling chaos this created. But architecturally, the house should have had at least one more. Mike and Carol certainly had their own master bathroom, which was occasionally referenced but never shown. The kids being stuck with just one bathroom was a deliberate choice to create storyline opportunities around the chaos of 6 teenagers getting ready for school, dates, and everything else. Think about all the classic moments that came from this setup. The arguments over mirror time, the bathroom schedules, the endless complaints. That single bathroom became a character in itself. Number 24, Mike's mysterious first wife.
Hey, that's swell. I really like this picture, but I didn't want to upset my new mom.
Throughout the series run from 1969 to 1974, we learn about Carol's previous marriage and that she was divorced. But Mike Brady's first wife? She's never mentioned, not once in 117 episodes. Creator Sherwood Schwartz deliberately left this ambiguous. Some suggested she had passed away, others thought divorce, but the show never committed to an answer. This was unusual for the time when networks were very specific about family structures and moral messaging. The absence of any explanation created a mystery that fans debated for years. Some viewers assumed she had died, which would explain why it was never discussed. Others wondered if Mike was also divorced, but the show's reluctance to have both parents divorced reflected network concerns about normalizing divorce. This unspoken element made Mike slightly mysterious, even as he was presented as the most straightforward character on television. Number 23, Tiger's disappearance. The Brady family dog, Tiger, was a prominent character in the first season, but mysteriously vanished after that. The fluffy dog appeared in the opening credits during that first season, had his own doghouse in the backyard that was prominently featured in outdoor scenes, and was included in several early episodes as part of the family. The kids played with him, Alice fed him, and he seemed like a permanent fixture. Then he was just gone, never to be seen or mentioned again. The real story behind Tiger's disappearance is bittersweet and reflects one of the sad realities of working with animal actors. The dog who played Tiger was tragically hit by a car and killed during production of the first season. It was a devastating loss for the cast and crew who had worked with the animal and grown fond of him. The producers tried using a replacement dog, hoping viewers wouldn't notice the switch the way modern audiences with high-definition screens might. But the new dog looked noticeably different from the original Tiger and never quite fit in with the trained behaviors and personality of the first dog. The replacement Tiger couldn't perform the same tricks, didn't have the same temperament on set, and simply didn't work as a Brady family pet. Rather than continuing to struggle with a replacement that didn't feel right, or addressing the loss in the show with an episode where the family said goodbye to their pet, the producers made the decision to simply have Tiger stop appearing. The doghouse remained in the backyard as a quiet memorial that eagle-eyed viewers can spot in later seasons if they look carefully during outdoor scenes. This decision reflected the show's overall approach to difficult topics. The Brady Bunch preferred to avoid heavy emotional subjects when possible, keeping things cheerful and optimistic. A family grieving over the loss of a beloved pet didn't fit the show's mission to present an idealized, upbeat version of family life where nothing truly sad or difficult ever happened. Number 22, the floating staircase.
How was your day?
Hi, sweetheart.
Look closely at the Brady house staircase, and you'll notice something architecturally impossible. The stairs appear to float without any visible support structure underneath. There's no solid wall beneath the steps, no visible beams or supports, just open space. In a real house, those stairs would collapse immediately. The set was built this way to allow cameras to move freely and get better angles during filming. The open design meant camera operators could position themselves under the staircase to capture action from below. It also allowed directors to film action happening simultaneously upstairs and downstairs, making the house feel more alive and busy. Television viewers in the early 1970s were less likely to notice such architectural impossibilities. Most people were watching on smaller screens without the ability to pause and examine details. The production team knew they could take these liberties because the overall effect worked beautifully on camera. Number 21. Mike's den was rarely used.
What is it, honey?
Peter's picture in the story about him.
Hey, say, you look something like his old man there.
What's going on?
Mike Brady's home office, where he worked on his architectural projects, appeared occasionally throughout the series, but was underutilized compared to other rooms in the house. The den had a sophisticated, professional look with drafting tables and architectural drawings on the walls. When it did appear in episodes, it usually served as the location for serious father-son talks or for Mike to work on blueprints. The producers preferred filming family scenes in more communal spaces like the kitchen or living room, which better served the show's emphasis on family togetherness. Mike's den represented his professional life, which was kept somewhat separate from the family comedy that drove most episodes. This made sense for a show focused on family dynamics rather than workplace storylines. The den remained a less visited part of the Brady house, existing primarily as visual evidence that Mike had a career outside the home. Number 20. The constant sound of construction.
Don't bother, Greg. There's not going to be any more baseball in the park, or volleyball, or anything.
In outdoor scenes filmed at the house exterior, you can sometimes hear construction noise in the background. The home used for exterior shots was located at 11,222 Dilling Street in Studio City, California. During the show's run, the neighborhood was experiencing a building boom. New houses were going up, renovations were happening constantly, and the area was transforming. Sound editors tried to minimize the background noise, but occasionally hammering or machinery sounds made it into the final cuts. These accidental sounds actually added suburban realism, even if unintentional. Modern viewers watching on good sound systems can pick up these background noises more easily than the original television audience could. Number 19. Alice's changing uniform.
Yes, Mrs. Brady?
I'm very angry with you.
Alice Nelson wore a blue uniform throughout the series, but her outfit subtly evolved in ways that reflected changing American culture. In early episodes from 1969, her uniform was a traditional maid's dress with a white apron, very formal and servant-like. As the show progressed through the early 1970s, Alice's uniform became less formal and more like regular casual clothing that happened to be blue. This reflected changing attitudes about household help and class structures. The traditional maid's uniform was becoming seen as outdated. Having live-in help was also becoming less common as the women's liberation movement gained strength. The costume department navigated these shifts by gradually making Alice look less like the help and more like a family member who preferred blue clothing. By the final season, Alice's outfit was barely distinguishable from regular day wear. Number 18. The attic that wasn't there.
Bother me. Go watch TV someplace else, huh?
Greg, this room is for all of us.
Several episodes show the Brady attic, particularly when the boys build their own room up there. But based on the exterior shots of the house, there shouldn't be an attic at all. The roofline visible from outside is a low-pitched roof that doesn't allow for the attic space shown in those interior scenes. The production designers weren't worried about this because they knew viewers watching on 1970s television sets wouldn't be freeze-framing and comparing shots the way modern audiences can. This kind of spatial impossibility was common in sitcoms of the era. Shows regularly featured rooms and spaces that couldn't exist based on the exterior house. Number 17. Greg's changing height.
Hi, Greg. Hi, Marcia. Hey, Marcia, wait up. You're,
Barry Williams experienced a significant growth spurt during the show's run. He started the series in 1969 at around 5 feet 8 inches and ended up well over 6 feet tall by 1974. The show tried to hide this by having Williams sit down more in later seasons, or positioning him on lower ground when next to Robert Reed. In some later episodes, Greg is noticeably taller than Mike, which directors worked hard to disguise with careful camera angles. Williams has talked about how awkward he felt during this period, growing so fast that he was sometimes clumsy on set. Longtime viewers can definitely track Greg's transformation from boy to man across the seasons. Number 16, the rotating meatloaf.
For anything.
That's what I call real family spirit.
We want to see Miss Smarty Pants fall right on her big...
In the episode where the family gets food poisoning from Alice's cooking, there's a dinner table scene featuring a meatloaf that seems to have a life of its own. In one shot, it's whole. In the next, it's partially sliced, then it's whole again. This wasn't a magical meatloaf, but rather a result of filming out of sequence and using different props. Television production often films scenes out of order for efficiency, which can create continuity errors with food props. The rotating meatloaf made it past editors and became a favorite blooper among fans who noticed it in reruns. In the 1970s, you might notice it once and never see it again unless you caught that specific rerun. Today, fans can easily watch the scene repeatedly to marvel at the transformation. Number 15, Carol's changing hair color.
Yes.
Can you put it on for us?
Oh, not now.
Oh, please.
Yeah, come on, give us a sneak preview.
Florence Henderson's hair color shifted noticeably throughout the series, and not because of any storyline reason. She started as a brunette in early episodes, then gradually became lighter until she was clearly blonde by the final season. This was Henderson's personal preference and the changing fashion trends of the early 1970s. The show never acknowledged the change, and Carol Brady's hair simply evolved along with Florence Henderson's style choices. The gradual nature helped minimize how noticeable it was. It wasn't like Carol showed up suddenly blonde one episode. For viewers watching week to week, the subtle shifts weren't particularly jarring. Only in reruns, when watching episodes from different seasons back to back, did the transformation become really obvious. Number 14, the phantom bathroom window.
Oh, no.
The upstairs bathroom had a window that provided natural light and occasionally figured into storylines, but if you study the Dilling Street house exterior carefully, that window shouldn't exist based on the house's structure. The interior bathroom set was built separately on a soundstage and didn't correspond to any real part of the exterior house. Viewers who visited the real house looking for the famous bathroom window would never find it because it existed only on the studio lot. This disconnect between exterior and interior was standard practice for sitcoms, but it created a strange situation where one of television's most famous rooms didn't actually exist in the house associated with the show. Number 13, Sam's shifting job.
Some chops. I have lamb chops, pork chops, veal chops, or you could take some of
Sam the Butcher was Alice's boyfriend and a recurring character who appeared throughout the series, becoming a fan favorite for his warm relationship with Alice and the whole Brady family. He worked at a meat counter and was played by Alan Melvin, often bringing steaks or other cuts as gifts for the Bradys, which made him very popular with the food-loving family. But his exact employment situation changed throughout the series in ways the writers never quite clarified. Sometimes Sam owned the butcher shop and was his own boss, able to make his own schedule and take time off whenever he wanted to spend time with Alice or help the Brady family with something. He'd talk about his business decisions and seem like an independent businessman. Other times, he clearly just worked there as an employee, mentioning his boss or workplace restrictions that prevented him from leaving when he wanted to. In some episodes, he's extremely busy and can barely get away from work, while in others, he seems to have unlimited free time to attend Brady family events, take Alice on dates, or just drop by the house for visits. The writers never locked down Sam's professional situation, treating it as a flexible background detail rather than something that needed consistency. What mattered to the show was that he was the butcher, Alice's romantic interest, and a friendly presence who could provide help or comic relief when needed. Whether he owned the shop or worked there as an employee didn't really matter to the storylines being told. Alan Melvin brought such warmth and humor to the role that viewers didn't care about these inconsistencies. Sam was lovable and dependable, and his relationship with Alice was one of the show's sweetest elements. Number 12, the multiplying bedrooms.
Jan, remember not to stand up in the canoe. And Marcia, don't
We can manage, Greg.
The Brady house interior suggests far more rooms than the exterior could possibly contain, creating an architectural impossibility that becomes obvious when you really think about the layout. Between the three kids' bedrooms upstairs, which we saw regularly throughout the series, the master bedroom for Mike and Carol, which was occasionally referenced, all the living spaces downstairs including the living room and family room, Mike's den where he worked on architectural projects and met with clients, and various other rooms mentioned or shown throughout the series, the actual square footage would need to be absolutely enormous. The real Dilling Street house is substantial substantial and attractive. A nice two-story home in a good Studio City neighborhood, but it's nowhere near large enough to contain all the interior spaces that appeared on the series over 5 seasons. Each room shown on television was a separate set built on a soundstage for maximum filming efficiency rather than architectural accuracy. The designers could make each room as large or small as they needed for the story being told and the camera work required. The boys' bedroom, the girls' bedroom, and the famous shared bathroom were built as one connected unit so that scenes could flow naturally between them, with the doors actually leading to the connected spaces. Mike's den was its own completely separate set. The kitchen, living room, and dining area were configured together to allow cameras to move between them easily for family gathering scenes. None of it actually fit together the way a real house would, and the total square footage of all these sets combined would have required a mansion. Television viewers generally understood this disconnect on some level, even if they didn't consciously think about it while watching. Everyone knew that the interiors were filmed on sets rather than in the actual Dilling Street house. The magic of television was accepting the interior world as real within the context of the show, regardless of whether it mathematically matched the exterior house shown in those establishing shots at the beginning of episodes. Number 11, Marcia's broken nose.
Not that big. It just seems that way because you've been staring at it. Well, how can I avoid it?
The famous episode where Marcia gets hit in the nose with a football has become one of the show's most memorable moments. The scene was filmed carefully to protect actress Maureen McCormick. The football wasn't a regulation ball, but rather a soft foam prop designed for this stunt. The scenes were extensively choreographed and McCormick never actually got hit. Camera angles, timing, and her acting sold the injury. The prosthetic used for her swollen nose was so convincing that some viewers thought McCormick had actually been injured during filming. Letters came in from concerned fans asking if she was okay. This episode became so iconic that it's been parodied countless times. The moment when Marcia sees her swollen nose in the mirror perfectly captured the small catastrophes that feel enormous when you're a teenager. Number 10. The kitchen's impossible layout.
Is this yours? No, it's Bobby's. Tell him it won't be if he doesn't keep it out of the kitchen. Take it up to him.
The Brady kitchen underwent subtle changes between seasons, and its layout doesn't quite make sense if you try to map it carefully. The door positions shift slightly, window locations appear to move, and counter space looks different in various episodes. The kitchen set was reconfigured multiple times for different filming needs, and the production team knew viewers wouldn't track the position of every appliance. The kitchen was central to many scenes because it was where the family gathered, where Alice worked, and where much of the comedy took place. It needed to be functional as a set, which sometimes meant sacrificing perfect consistency. In early television days, these changes were easier to get away with because people watched on smaller screens with lower resolution. Number 9. Cousin Oliver's desperate arrival. When Cousin Oliver appeared in the final season, it was a last-ditch effort to inject new life into a declining show. The character was Carol's nephew who comes to stay, adding a younger child after years of the same 6 kids. The producers thought a cute younger kid might help attract viewers or create new storylines. This strategy became so infamous that adding a cute kid to a struggling show is now called Cousin Oliver syndrome among television writers. The character appeared in the final 6 episodes, and his arrival is generally considered a sign the show was ending. Cousin Oliver didn't save the Brady Bunch from cancellation, and many fans found the character annoying. The show ended after that season, making his brief appearance a footnote in the series' history. Number 8. The non-functioning fireplace.
I pointed to it. I saw it first.
All right, there's enough credit for everybody.
The Brady living room featured a prominent fireplace visible in countless episodes. It was central to the room's design, with the mantle holding family photos and decorative objects. But that fireplace was never lit or actually used in any episode. This wasn't unusual for Southern California homes, where fireplaces are often decorative given the mild climate. The fireplace served purely as a set piece and visual element. The mantle provided a place to display family mementos, making it clear this was a home with history. Even in Christmas episodes, the stockings hung from a fireplace that remained cold and empty. The non-functioning fireplace highlights how much of television sets is about creating atmosphere rather than functionality. It communicated family home without ever needing actual flames. Number 7. Robert Reed's script battles.
He seemed harmless enough. Until he locked us in the jail because he thought we were...
Robert Reed famously fought with creator Sherwood Schwartz over scripts he felt were too silly or unrealistic. Reed took the Brady Bunch more seriously than anyone else involved and would write lengthy memos explaining why certain plots didn't make sense or why character behaviors were inconsistent. The Grand Canyon episodes particularly frustrated Reed. He felt the Tiki idol storyline was absurd and refused to appear in certain scenes, which is why Mike is mysteriously absent from parts of those episodes. These behind-the-scenes tensions were hidden from viewers who saw Mike Brady as the perfect, even-tempered father. The irony wasn't lost on the cast that the actor playing the most level-headed character was actually the most difficult about scripts. Despite their disagreements, Reed's performance was always professional and warm, and his portrayal of Mike became iconic. Number 6. The orange and green color scheme. The Brady house featured a specific orange, green, and brown color palette that screamed early 1970s. But this wasn't just following trends. The colors were specifically chosen because they looked good on the television technology of the era. Set designer Hal Pereira knew certain colors would pop on screen while others would look muddy or washed out under studio lights. The bold choices helped the show look vibrant to contemporary audiences. The color scheme also distinguished different areas of the house, helping viewers instantly know where a scene was taking place. By modern standards, the decor looks dated, but in the early 1970s, this was cutting-edge suburban style. The show reflected what middle-class American homes actually looked like, making the Brady house feel familiar rather than like a television fantasy. Number 5. The Tiki Statue Mystery.
Nobody knows about this cave but me.
We just stumbled onto it.
Honest.
The famous Tiki idol from the Hawaii episodes was introduced as a cursed object bringing bad luck to the Brady family. The 3-part Hawaii storyline featured beautiful location footage and the memorable taboo Tiki concept. The idol became one of the show's most recognizable props despite appearing in only 3 episodes. After filming, the prop was stored at Paramount Studios. Urban legends began growing among crew members that it was actually cursed, just like in the episodes. Some claimed strange things happened around where the Tiki was stored. Others refused to touch it, half joking but also half serious about not risking bad luck. Whether you believe in curses or not, the Tiki became legendary within the Paramount community, representing one of those cases where fiction and reality blurred. Number 4. Ann B. Davis's real personality.
Well, it could be almost anybody. Hard to say.
Look, Alice, this is very important.
Ann B. Davis, who played Alice, was nothing like her character in real life. While Alice was outgoing, bubbly, and silly, Davis was quiet, deeply religious, and preferred solitude. During the show's run, Davis lived in a religious community in Pennsylvania, traveling to Los Angeles for filming, then returning to her spiritual home between production blocks. The brilliant comedic performance that made Alice beloved was pure acting skill. Davis could transform completely into the bubbly housekeeper, then step out of character and return to her quiet, contemplative self. She won 2 Emmy Awards before the Brady Bunch, but Alice Nelson became her most famous role, the character most people remember her for. Number 3. The Astroturf Yard.
This part's the frog, and then you can use this for candy or nuts or anything.
Hey, that's kind of
Flowers,
cool.
is that great?
The Brady backyard wasn't real grass, but Astroturf, a relatively new invention in the early 1970s. Real grass on a soundstage would need extensive maintenance, watering, drainage, and special lighting. It would also look different depending on mowing schedules and watering, creating continuity problems between episodes filmed weeks apart. Astroturf eliminated these problems while providing a consistent green outdoor look. It photographed well under studio lights, never looked brown or patchy, and needed no maintenance beyond cleaning. Most viewers had no idea they were looking at artificial grass. The production team created an outdoor space entirely indoors with complete control over lighting and weather. Number 2. The Floating Timeline.
I never thought you could do it. Well, how was he in person, Marcia?
The Brady Bunch existed in a strange timeline where the kids never really aged appropriately and outside events rarely intruded. The show ran from 1969 to 1974 during the Vietnam War, Watergate scandal, and civil rights movement, yet none of this appeared in the Brady household. The show existed in a deliberately timeless bubble, avoiding contemporary issues to remain a pure family comedy. Sherwood Schwartz wanted to create a show that could be watched anytime, not tied to specific events or politics. The kids barely aged across 5 seasons despite the actors growing naturally. This approach helped the show remain popular in reruns for decades because it didn't feel locked into one specific moment. Number 1. The House That Wasn't Theirs.
I think she's pretty special myself.
Well, I certainly hope the bride isn't.
The most famous detail many fans don't realize is that the exterior house used for the Brady residence isn't the interior house at all. Those establishing shots that opened episodes showing the iconic split-level home in sunny California were of a real house at 1122 Dilling Street in Studio City, but every interior scene was filmed on a different soundstage at Paramount Studios several miles away. The real Dilling Street house had a completely different interior layout than what viewers saw on television. The family who actually lived there during filming had no connection to the show beyond receiving payment for exterior shots. They were regular people living in a house that happened to become one of television's most recognizable homes. The homeowners would sometimes find fans on their lawn hoping to see the Bradys or trying to peek in windows. Of course, there were no Bradys to see. The property has changed hands several times over the decades. In 2018, HGTV purchased the house and underwent a massive renovation to make the interior actually match what viewers saw on the show. Before that renovation, walking into the real Dilling Street house would have been jarring for any Brady Bunch fan. It looked nothing like the interior they knew from television. This disconnect between exterior and interior is common in television production, but few shows have an exterior location as famous as the Brady house. The Dilling Street home became a pilgrimage site for fans, even though it was just a facade. In a way, this perfectly captured what the Brady Bunch was about, creating a believable illusion of family life that looked real but was carefully constructed on studio sets. The Brady Bunch gave us an idealized version of blended family life that resonated with millions of viewers across generations. These small details and behind-the-scenes stories add depth to a show that seemed simple on the surface, but was actually carefully crafted television. From the impossible architecture to the cast's real personalities to the production tricks that made everything work, every episode was a product of countless decisions by dedicated professionals who created something special. The show ran for just 5 seasons and 117 episodes, but its impact lasted far beyond that original run. Decades of reruns introduced the Brady Bunch to new generations who found something appealing in this optimistic vision of family life. The show became a cultural touchstone, referenced and parodied so often that even people who never watched it know about the Bradys. It represented a simpler time in television, when families gathered together on Friday nights to watch wholesome entertainment that everyone could enjoy. These hidden details remind us that even the most straightforward-seeming television shows have layers of complexity behind them. Real people worked hard to create this fictional family, dealing with everything from sad accidents to creative disagreements to the simple challenges of maintaining continuity across years of filming. The Brady Bunch may have presented a perfect family, but creating that perfection required imperfect human beings solving problems and making compromises every single day. If you enjoyed discovering these hidden details from one of television's most beloved families, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more nostalgic trips down memory lane. What's your favorite Brady Bunch memory or episode? Let us know in the comments below.